You see, Riot made an apology video about the new cinematic. Wait, they made a whole apology video? I saw their tweet, or rather their statement. Where's their apology video? Is it not on this channel? Where is it? It's on Twitter? Okay. Let me look it up. Is it on their official Twitter, like Riot Games Twitter? No, it's not there. Is it on League of Legends Twitter?
Hey everyone, my name is Jeremy Lee. I'm also known as Riot Brightmoon. I'm the executive producer for League of Legends.
And
hey, nice to meet you.
Also known as Medler. I'm the head of League Studio, so I oversee game development for League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, and Wild Rift.
Hey there.
We're here today to talk a bit about some of the mistakes that we've made. And this isn't just about the season start cinematic, although we'll talk about that a bit. It's just the latest example.
I guess maybe you guys don't know what we're talking about. Riot released this stinker. Riot's known for super high quality animation as well as just like really high quality product in general when it comes to this kind of promotional stuff. And they released this. I won't bother showing you the whole thing, but it's just a voiceover as they go through a completely empty world. They even have audio from like some LCS clips, I think. And they don't show any of it. It's just like random LCS audio.
Every mistake, a lesson.
And that's the whole thing. So super underwhelming. Most people were reasonably questioning why the fuck they even released it. It's super stupid. It's a complete nothingness. So they got some pushback on it, and they have been kicking sand ever since. They already released one statement like apologizing for it. Now they've made a whole apology video all from this one bad cinematic they've had. But it was a super stinker, to be fair.
Game both right now and for a little while hasn't consistently been what it should be. We've heard that from you. We quite agree with it. There've been some good bits in there. I think the durability update last year and Worlds as a whole were both excellent. But there's a lot of other stuff where we have by contrast dropped the ball. Whether that's the lack of the season start cinematic, the overall state of our events feeling a bit too formulaic, the lack of new game modes.
This is brutally honest. I don't think I've ever seen a game developer like of this pedigree come out and be like, "Look, guys, our shit sucks. Here's all the reasons here's all the things that you are rightfully upset about. This fucking sucked. This was bad. This is really formulaic, so we understand why most people think it's bad." This is really honest. I've never seen this. 343 did that? When did they do that? 343 was like, yeah, we're just slow. I don't remember them ever saying like, yeah, we really fucking dropped the ball. Like, we suck. It was a few months ago they had a whole stream where they said they fucked up. I must have missed that stream. Thanks to Resub Hale.
Or whatever. There's a bunch of places we should be doing better and doing better in how we communicate that to you.
It's kind of all coming to a head now because season start is supposed to be this hype, epic, exciting moment that we're all looking forward to. And frankly, we missed on your expectations there. So today we want to share our thoughts on how we got here and what we're going to do next.
League of Legends has historically been a very big priority for Riot, and it very much still is. I can understand that may not always feel the case, though. For us, 2022 was very much a rebuilding year. For various reasons, we had to rebuild a lot of capabilities, rebuild some of the league team, both individual developers and some of its leadership.
I do think a lot of it just kind of boils down to people getting tired of League. I think that actually is probably one of the biggest components. I think just a lot of people in like the US are just kind of burnt out on League at this point. I don't even know. I haven't kept up in a while, so maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like no matter what they do, most people are just kind of moving on from it. According to chat, though, last time I talked about it, it's doing extremely well internationally and is only growing overseas. It's really just kind of domestic that it's fallen off. Well, I don't think they're... I feel like the Valorant team isn't taking away from the League team. I think Riot is obviously putting a lot of stake into Valorant because that's the hotness right now. But I don't think by doing that, they're taking resources away from League. But I could very well be wrong about that. I just don't see why they'd be taking League team members and putting them on Valorant. They're two totally separate departments, or they should be, rather. So I don't think it's really Valorant that's eating League.
the good news is that the team's in a much better state now. The bad news is that the state of the game right now reflects where the team was last year, rather than exactly what things are like today.
In the recent Coco.
But, there's also been some things that have happened that aren't related to staffing. And so we want to talk about how we got here,
I've seen that Yeti.
where we're going, and I think best to start with the cinematic for season start.
We know the cinematic is an important, key part of season start that a lot of you look forward to. And we fully planned to have a cinematic like we've done in previous years for this year's season start, with the champion-focused, big epic moments, etc. sort of thing. We had the budget for that, we had the right team on that, but we failed to deliver. We're very much going to do one of those for next year's season start. I want to commit to that right now.
I have so many questions on that. So you allocated the budget, you got the team, and then you still delivered this. It's not a failed to deliver. This is like a failed on every front. If you had the budget, you had the team, why did this come out? How did this come into fruition? Something must have fallen through internally. And where did that money go? Because it didn't go to this. That's for damn sure. Budget fell to their pockets. I mean, I guess maybe. That just doesn't really make any sense. I don't understand how this would have happened if they had already allocated the budget and team and everything, and as well as a champion-focused cinematic that they're known for. How the fuck did this end up being the result? Must have been pure chaos. Why are you criticizing a cinematic, man? Low effort criticism. This is what they're talking about, you dumb asshole. It's not a cinematic either, by the way. It's a voiceover going through an empty landscape. And this is the first one that's like this in fucking, 12 years? Even season 1 had an actual cinematic. So when this dropped, it showed a lack of care for the property, which made people doubt that they even put any effort into it anymore. That's what it all stems from. That's why they're making this video. Because people are losing faith in them having any level of passion left for League. Thanks to Prime Nuts, and the gift sub Levi and resub Josh and Doodoo.
We also want to commit to doing a much better job of talking with you folks. We knew this was going to be a problem a while back. We should have just been transparent with you all. Helped you understand what to expect, rather than ending up with a last-minute surprise here that dashed your expectations.
And it's not like season start is the first event that we've missed the mark on. We have been hearing that events have felt a bit repetitive or lacking some of that twist or special sauce that events used to have.
That events need to have something novel and interesting to actually do, to play, not just a pass to grind or the skins to buy or whatever. And so we think the big missing piece there, in particular based off your feedback, is game modes.
Is it game
League
modes, though?
Used to have a game modes team, and I think a pretty good one. And we ended up using that team as the foundation for the development of Teamfight Tactics and the ongoing development of it. That was great for Teamfight Tactics as an experience, but at a cost to
Game
League.
modes would save it?
And we've been gradually rebuilding that modes team. But to be frank, we haven't prioritized it or moved as fast as we should have. The good news, though, now is that we have a modes team who is staffed up and ready to execute. In fact, just this week, we played a prototype for a new game mode a couple days ago, and it's really promising and something that we're hoping to get out to all of you sometime this summer.
So this is a mode that involves 4 teams of 2 who get matched against each other in a series of deathmatch-like rounds, and buy items and level up and so on between rounds. It's a little janky, it's a little rough as a prototype, but we think it's showing a lot of promise. And our current thinking is we'll share some more details about it, some art, etc., probably in March, and then hope to get it out around the middle of the year so that you folks can play that too. Game modes is one of the places where we'll probably have more changes that we make to the game and ship in the shorter term. In addition to that, though, we're also making a number of longer term investments in League, kicking off some much larger projects too.
Everyone at Riot, the League of Legends dev team included, of course, wants League to be a thriving, evolving, exciting game for many years to come. And so you might have heard recently that Nicolo, the Riot CEO, talked about how League is going to have the biggest year of funding that it's ever had. And that's
Huge.
because it's true. And that's great. That's great for the game. And that reflects the level of long-term investment that we want to make. And one place that maybe we should start talking about more is the investment that we have in our underlying technology that unlocks a lot of things that we do.
It's super confusing though, because it feels like this is the lowest budget they've ever had. They just scaled back so much for the LCS in particular. One of Riot's focuses for a long time pre-Valorant was on making League the premier esport, the gold standard. When it came to events, there was really only two that were fucking nuts. It was Worlds, or pretty much any stage for League of Legends esports, and Dota 2. Like, that's really it. But it hasn't felt like that now. It feels like, and they're scaling back, like the LCS in particular, they let go of like Dash and all that. Feels like they have less money to work with than ever. So I just want to know where all of those resources are going. Maybe it's all like internal building of teams and putting people in the right positions, but when the fuck is that going to actually start showcasing like results, I wonder. There's a tier 1 Tidy, the resub Ahmed, and Marie. Counter-Strike events were pretty big. Well, yeah, but I'm talking like that massive world stage shit that they used to be known for. Fucking Imagine Dragons coming out and doing that song, having the fucking AR augmented reality dragons and all of that. Like, they were putting on Super Bowl level shit. World's Still Massive got a new format. I know it's still massive. I'm not saying that it's dead or anything. I'm just saying it feels like it's walking backwards, like it's going in reverse. He's the resub artist. Like, they're just running out of budget for it. Which would make sense because now they're making so many other games. They have Project L coming out. They have the Riot Games MMO coming out. And now they also, like, games they already have out that they have a lot of resources for. Teamfight Tactics and Valorant. Like, now they have a lot going on, so the focus isn't all on League. And it feels like they've kind of put League in the back burner. Oh, they also have Arcane, true. This is good. The LCS scaled down. You can buy into the LCS if there's an LCS left. That'd be cool, though. Get Moisty Sports in the LCS in the like most dead region there is. LCS time slot now Thursday and Friday at 3 p.m. makes no sense for an NA audience. Yeah, it's one of the big criticisms right now of why people are assuming they're just slowly killing off the LCS.
The benefits of some of that stuff, yeah, well, you'll hopefully see in 2023. A lot of it will be multiple year projects as well, though. You know, this can cover things from how we make art and create or modify maps to how our anti-cheat works, updating that, our engine's capabilities.
Our server and hardware capacity that allows us to do things like take over operations in Southeast Asia. There is a ton of work happening that is investment into our long-term growth of the game.
And building on that, there's an overarching theme, I think, here of communication, that we need to consistently do a good job of talking with you folks, transparently and openly about what matters the most to you, what you care about in the game. Updating you when things are going well. And
No
when
one
they're going
really does
badly,
that.
be that
I think it's silly to
state of
expect
the meta
Riot to.
or
I don't think they will.
events or game modes or esports updates, whatever it be.
And it's not just the big struggles or big things that we need to communicate on. It's the simple things, too. For example, making sure that you all know when ranked is starting, clearly in the client, clearly in advance. So both Andre and I are committing to having more regular communication with all of you. You'll also be hearing more from the dev team on what they're working on and what's exciting and what's in store in the coming weeks and months.
If you've got thoughts on what format you'd like to see that stuff in, is that high production videos every so often? Is that quick videos like this one? Is that blog posts? Is that social media? Please let us know.
Big part of
I don't think you need to
communication,
do a
though,
high
of course,
production for an
is
update
listening.
video.
So
from the
we
dev
want
team.
you to know that we are listening to you. And
Just
we're
convey the
grateful,
information.
honestly, that you're so passionate about League and making sure that that we know what you want in terms of making League of Legends the best game it can be.
Very much listening to your feedback. We're working to incorporate that into game. We're going to keep both, sharing, our thoughts with you and hearing yours in return, of course. But at the end of the day, we also know that ultimately it's actions, not words, that matter here.
Thank you for listening to us today.
Thank you all.
Overall, I think that was a pretty good response to the whole situation. About as good as I could have possibly expected, to be honest. They didn't really give the specifics on how the fuck this animation ended up, like I said here, but other than that, I guess we'll see. It still does really feel like League's kind of on its way out in the US. I don't know how they salvage that. I don't know how you bring it back. People said game modes actually would save it, but I don't know. If they, let's say they do Dominion 2.0, bring out a new Dominion. Who's coming back? Like, game modes will keep players that are already playing, I'm sure. Give them something else to do, but I just don't see it bringing in new people. Doombots were cool, yeah. But I wouldn't play League for Doombots. Doombots was just always something to do after I got fucking tired of playing ranked. What would I bring back? Well, I just don't think... I am personally of the belief that game modes wouldn't save it or, like, help it have this renaissance of players. Like, it'd give people that are already burnt out on the game but addicted something else to do, yeah, but I don't see people coming to play those game modes.